Okay, so The World Is Not Enough. So, I really, really like this film, and I do remember this film when it came out. Like, because when you don't really remember things when you're like a little kid, like with GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies, I don't really remember those movies being released. I wasn't fully sentient, I was like two, three, four, whatever. Whereas this film, I think this was like 1999, so I must have been like 8. I remember when this film got released, the same way I remember like Phantom Menace being released. I just remember that whole crazy, just madness. So yeah, that was when I first became aware that movies come out at the cinema. But no, I remember the reason why I'm saying I remember this film when it first came out is because I remember we went to the cinema as a family, and this might make you laugh or it might make you go, what? There was an option of going to either see Muppets in Space or the new James Bond film World Is Not Enough. And I can't remember what was the thinking in my brain as a little kid. I think I went to go and see Muppets in Space with my mum, and my older brother went to go and see, well, middle brother, but like he's older than me, but like he went to go and see the new James Bond with my dad. I think maybe it's because it was a 12. I think that's the reason why I couldn't go and see it, because obviously like this was before Spider-Man, and when Spider-Man came out, that changed everything. Like that, you were able to go and see 12 certificate movies if you were accompanied by an adult. So it was 12A certificate. But this was when it was just 12, and it was just like, no, you can't go and see this film because it's 12, so you can't go and see it. And I remember actually, I remember Mummy Returns as well. I wanted to go and see Mummy Returns, and my brother and my dad went to go and see Mummy Returns, and they didn't tell me about it. And then when I found out, I was pissed. I was pissed. But anyway, enough about that. So I went to go and see Muppets in Space with my mum. But I had a great old time. I loved it. I thought it was great. I was into like wrestling at the time as well. WCW was on the TV all the time. I remember watching it a lot. And Hulk Hogan pops up in Muppets in Space. And there's also a really, really funny bit in Muppets in Space where there's this bear that like puts his eyes into like some eye scanning thing, and it goes blah, 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 like that.
Yeah. General Officer.
That always made me chuckle. And there's a bit in it where like they parody Independence Day, which always made me laugh. That made me laugh. Anyway, enough about Muppets in Space, but it's a great movie. I think you should go watch it. I recommend you go see it. It's one of the best Muppets movies. Well, it's one of the most underrated Muppets movies because you got Christmas Carol, which is just the best. Then you got Treasure Island. After that, don't really care. Don't know what else there is. I think there's an Oz one. Anyway, I'm talking about Muppets. Why am I talking about the Muppets? But anyway, that was just a memory. That was just a memory. That was a memory. But when this film came out on, video, when you could rent it on video, I remember we rented it, and I remember watching it and loving it and thinking it was great. There was a video game as well. There was a video game. It doesn't really get a lot of love, to be honest with you, because people are just so nostalgic for GoldenEye that they don't really remember this. But funny little story. I remember watching my brother playing this game, and my brother is quite funny, and he does like Pierce Brosnan impressions and stuff. And recently he was doing it again with the First Light. He was saying funny things while playing the game, because James Bond says lots of witty stuff. He randomly just went up to a TV and just went, "TV's bad for your health," like that. And I pissed myself laughing. I thought it was so fucking funny. You had to sort of be there to find it funny. Like you had to be like sat there on the sofa, watching the TV, and then just my brother just goes, "TV is bad for your health," and he just shoots the TV. But yeah, I know you're probably not going to find that at all funny, but that's just a memory I have of my childhood, of my youth. The video game was quite good. And so I haven't really talked about the film yet. And I've just been yapping on about Muppets and video games and TV's bad for your health. Yeah. I remember also just like watching this film a lot. This was like the most watched film, I think. I just have a good clear memory of it. I remember watching it in school as well because we were doing this like school thing where we had to watch. Well, sometimes you get these one days when you get to watch a movie. I remember we were watching this and Agent Cody Banks because I think we were. I don't know what we were doing. We were writing about spy thrillers and comparing the two, like Agent Cody Banks and this film. I can't remember why. School is just so pointless. But anyway, I remember watching it in school. I remember watching it at home, and it is a great movie. It's got a great villain. Robert Carlyle is a real scary villain. He has no feelings. I mean, he can die, but he has no like nervous system. Like nerve. Like he yeah. If you prick him, he won't feel it. So yeah, he's pretty scary. But he's kind of not really the main villain in this. Like the woman, Electra King, he's called Renard, I think I remember. Renard? Is it Yeah, I think so. Anyway, she's called Electra King, and she's kind of like the main villain, really. I mean, it's spoiler alert. Sorry if you haven't seen it. Yeah, like, because you think she is this kind of like sort of princess, kind of damsel in distress type thing. Someone's trying to kill me, blah blah blah. That sort of thing, and you think she's kind of like the love interest, but she turns out to be a villain, and it was all her plan the whole time. Oh no! So there hasn't really been like a main villain woman. It's only ever been like men who have been the main villains. So she's kind of like the first ever like female Bond villain, but her death scene is actually her death scene is actually quite good because Piers Brosnan, because obviously Daniel Craig was a lot darker and a lot more colder, and there was a lot more moments where he killed people sort of in cold blood, with no remorse. Like Piers Brosnan like shoots her like in the most like I'm not effing about sort of way, yeah. I mean, there's a moment where he's like feels a little bit of regret, and he's just like, "Oh, you were sexy, you were really really sexy. Sorry, I had to kill you, but."
But you one crazy ass bitch.
But yeah, no, she was great. She was in Braveheart as well. Actually, she was great in Braveheart. What else can I talk about? Robbie Coltrane is back in this film. He was in Goldeneye, and he gets killed in this film. It's really upsetting, really sad. You can't just kill Hagrid like that. No, but he has a great moment where he has like a gun inside his cane, so that's cool. And there's a guy with gold teeth in this called Goldie. Yeah, he's in it. I've seen him in a whole bunch of things. Like I think he was in Snatch. Yeah, he was in Snatch, and I think he was in EastEnders, if I remember. But yeah, enough about him.
So glad to see you.
Me too.
Denise, what's her name? Denise Richards. Is that her name? Yeah, she plays the scientist lady. Um, but yeah, she's really really hot, and she gets a lot of flack from Bond fans and stuff, like talking about her being unbelievable, not believable because she's really really fit, and she can't be like a nuclear scientist or whatever. She can't be that, because she's too fit. And it's like, I don't know about you, but I've seen some really sexy smart people. There's a lot of sexy smart people out there. You'd be surprised. I mean, I'm pretty smart, and I also think I'm low key kind of sexy. I'll be honest with you. I'm just joking. But no, yeah, people give her a lot, but you know what? People have a go at her character and say, "Oh, she's unbelievable." Blah, 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 blah. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's a movie. Okay, it's a movie, right? You can suspend your disbelief just for this one character. Okay, I think her name's called Christmas in this film, and there's actually a funny little quip at the very end, where Piers Brosnan says, "I thought Christmas only came once a year." Yeah. So, or no, does he say that? I don't think he does say it. I think he just says. I think he says something else. Actually, I don't. I think I just made that up in my head. I think he says something like spending Christmas in Turkey, or I enjoy spending Christmas in Turkey, or something like that. I don't know. He's a randy bastard, so I don't know if I got that right. It could be the dementia kicking in. But yeah, anyway, there's some great action scenes in this film. There's a skiing scene. John Cleese as well is in it and takes over as Q. And sadly, yes, this is the last time we ever see Desmond Llewellyn as Q, because I think he died shortly after this film. And the last scene that he's in is quite sad, and it's, you know, it's a shame. It's a shame, but obviously, like, this is how it is, you know. People, the James Bond franchise, it goes through a revolving kind of thing. But he's been the one constant throughout all of these movies. Like, he's been the one, he's always been there since, like, From Russia with Love. He was Q with all of the other James Bonds. And yeah, but John Cleese is funny, and he comes in and he does a little, he does some funny stuff, and he's in the next one after this, and he only gets to play Q like twice, and that's a shame. But Desmond Llewellyn, he was in like 17 movies, I believe, as the character. Maybe he missed one. I'm not sure. Maybe was he in Live and Let Die? I cannot remember. Either way, it's sad to see him go. It's sad to not see him anymore after this. What else can I say about this film? The boat scene at the beginning. Like, this probably has one of the best, actually, pre-credit scenes. Like, that boat sub thing. That's cool. And the song, actually. The song, I think, is one of the most underrated James Bond songs. It's made by a band called Garbage. But they're not garbage. They're actually a good band. And they make a good song. So, yeah. Listen to it. Listen to it on YouTube. It's good. Anyway, I don't know what else to really talk about. I mean, good villain, Robert Carlyle. Yeah, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with this one, and I think maybe we'll move on to the next one. I just remember when this came out on, like, video. I just remember, like, or it was on the TV all the time. Like, I recorded all the James Bond films at one point, and I just remember watching them all, and this, I just remember watching this film a lot. And I wish I'd gone to see it actually at the cinema, but I don't think I could. But I had a good time watching the Muppets. So, Muppets in Space. I recommend everybody watch that. Muppets in Space. It's got Hulk Hogan in it. So, anyway, on to the next one. Right, the final Pierce Brosnan movie.
One. Last.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for watching. Bye.